Well, we'll recover. The character of this team doesn't change. The support, the trust they have for one another. We didn't have a very good day. So, we'll count on that. We'll count on the character to bring us back. And we don't have time to feel sorry for ourselves or point the fingers. We need to find and get these corrections made and then move on.
How confident are you that these guys are mentally tough enough to recover from
Yeah. That's not a concern. I mean, there's games like this that take place in the NFL. Not that it's acceptable. It's not. But we'll draw from this. We'll learn from this. There's too much pride in that locker room and trust amongst each other to get this thing right.
How do they come out and play so poorly after everything they said about being shocked that they didn't win against Green Bay?
Yeah, I think you got to put that on me. When the team comes up and they don't have the rhythm that they need to be, offensively and defensively, as a head coach too, I've got to take a lot of responsibility in that. You can't just show up and play well. There's a lot of things that go into it, and we'll learn from those things.
Were there any worrisome signs during the week?
Was there any what's that?
Worrisome signs?
No, you know what? I thought we really went into approach of, okay, here's where we're playing, now let's add to it. And we changed some things up just to put more emphasis on the little things, but it just didn't show up today. And I think it was, we just didn't get in a rhythm.
Gus, is this the most embarrassed you felt in your 38 games?
I don't know. You know what? I hurt for those guys in the locker room. I hurt for us, and I hurt for our fans. Embarrassed. We just didn't play very well.
I asked that because of the context of this was supposed to be a better team. This was supposed to be the team that was going to be more relevant, was going to have a breakthrough.
Right. Well, I don't know if you're defined by one game. I think the big thing is, really let's see how we respond from this. And, I just have a lot of faith in the character of our coaches, of this team. And we'll be back. We'll be back. We got stung. We got punched in the mouth today. And there's some valuable lessons that we can learn from this game and from this opportunity.
Did you tell on your first drive, did they do anything to block you guys up there, get those long runs?
What's that?
Could you tell anything from?
Yeah, we had some things. We didn't play as clean. There were some things that took place out in the field defensively that we did not do at any time in practice. We got out of whack a few plays, and on those plays, I had some explosive plays with the run and the pass.
How do you feel like forced a couple that second interception?
Right.
Out of
well, that's what I think. What happens is when you're out of rhythm and you're not there completely, you try to do too much. And sometimes I've not talked to him about that, but that can happen. You try to do too much, make too many things happen, rather than just go back and take it play by play.
Guys in the locker room talked this week about being shocked that they lost last week in Green Bay. I mean, how shocked that they would have this kind of effort?
Well, I hope the shock from last week didn't carry over to where, we thought, all right, we played pretty well. We just didn't do enough things. Let's just go show up. You can't do that in an NFL game. You got to be ready right from the start. And you got to play at a high level each game. This is a tough team. We knew this was an explosive offense. They did it last week against Kansas City. They just didn't play very well for about 10 minutes of the game. So we knew what they were capable of. Their defense, we knew they could fly around. They played physical. And, that team showed up today.
Last play of the first half, what was sort of the thinking to do the pass to TJ as opposed to a Hail Mary?
You know what? At that time, just seeing how they were aligned, we felt like just to get in, try to get some points on the board before going in at halftime.
How did Phillip Rivers look to you? And he's going without Keenan Allen and still moving the ball.
Well, you know what? That's when you lose a guy like Keenan Allen, that's tough for any team because he's a great player. But also Phillip Rivers, I think the credit that he deserves is what he does under situations like that. They had a lot of injuries in the offensive line last year, and he played very well. He's a guy that really responds well to adversity, and the team feels him, and he is a great player, great player.
Were you able to talk to Beecham at all when he was on the ground?
No, just told him, we're there for him.
Okay, so he was. Do you know if he won? Did he get knocked out?
I'm not sure. I'll meet with our trainers after this.
A lot of guys running free. Do you have to speed this up with maybe a guy like Miles who's so athletic? I know you got to make him
sure. Yeah, you know what? I think, we keep evaluating everything. There's some things that, we try to speed up everybody and keep that competition part going. So, Puzzle's been playing pretty well. Miles understands where he's at. We've had great communication, and we're constantly trying to push that forward as fast as possible.
Is this a bigger punch to the gut for you personally than last week?
Anytime you lose, it's not fun, for this team. This team has got, like I said, a lot of pride, and there's some talented players, and we just didn't play very well today.
Be Jim taken to the hospital or just treated here?
You know what?
To the hospital.
Okay.
Taken to the hospital.
A-Rob, no catches until early fourth quarter. How much do you have to get back to the drawing board with him and get him involved?
Yeah, well, I think it's important to get him involved. So we'll take a look at it. I know they did some different things coverage-wise, for him. So we'll take a look at that. He's got to learn to expect that playing in this game, and we still have to find ways to get him the ball.
One positive, Fowler had 2 sacks. Did you see him play well?
Yeah, I thought Fowler did. He did show up, and, it looked like he was playing really hard. Right now my mind's spinning on, what just took place. But there'll be some positives, but when you give up explosive plays on defense and you don't take care of the ball and you have as many penalties as you have, it's a tough formula. It's a tough formula to be successful. Yeah, it's emotional, and you got to keep your poise. You got to keep your poise in situations like that. So be a learning lesson for them.
Not that penalized the last couple of years, but this trend from the preseason is seemingly
right. Well, you know what, and I know some people will argue that some of the better teams in the league get penalized. I don't know if it's the more penalties you have, it means that you're not going to be successful. I don't know if that's an accurate fact, but I know we want to eliminate them from our game. We want to play cleaner. To have as many as we did is not acceptable. And because it comes back to the ones that we can control. There's foolish penalties in there. Now, if you're talking foolish penalties, I agree. We got to eliminate those from our game. Our whole thing was, I think we're an offense that can play pretty well if we stay on schedule. And when you have foolish penalties that come back and keep you from being on schedule, it becomes an issue.
a little concerned that it might unravel a little bit with the penalties on top, and then Audric kind of losing his cool.
Yeah, you have to keep your poise. You have to keep your poise in a game like that, and it's challenging. It didn't turn out the way we had it pictured, the way we visualized it, the way we put it together. And when it doesn't do that, then how do you react? And in those situations, you have to keep your poise, and that's the challenge.